fortunate enough to find yourself within the lower levels of Banban's kindergarten, you might find yourself facing a very strange sight. An underground kingdom lit by the colorful hues of the giant mushrooms that populate the area. Ruling over this kingdom is a giant kangaroo queen, protected and served by a few incredibly loyal residents. And among these residents is one that has gone through so many changes during development, and also perhaps one of Garten of Banban's most iconic characters. The name of that resident is Blitzercup. Or at least that's what the game files may lead you to believe. No. The name of this resident is Bitter Titter. Or at least that's what he was originally going to be called before his name was changed for one last time to, drumroll please, Bitter Giggle. The Garten of Banban cast each have their own detailed story and personality, and that's what makes Garten of Banban unique. Join me on the 4th episode of the Banban Chronicles, narrated by me, Ty Coker, the voice actor of the character that the episode revolves around, Bitter Giggle. A series where we dedicate each episode to discussing the history and secrets of a member of the Garten of Banban cast. The ending of Garten of Banban 3 warns the player of a mysterious threat referred to as the Jester. And while not seen physically in the game, a collectible journal named the Smudged Poster depicts a strange figure never seen before in any of the games. Which, at the time, many correctly theorized is this Jester that we are cautiously told not to let find us. This was the introduction to what would later become a major character in the franchise. This figure is tall and humanoid, but most strikingly, he was vertically split into two colors, purple and green. Which begs the question, is this always how Bitter Giggle was intended to look like? The answer is no! And there's a big story behind the process that led to the creation of Bitter Giggle. During the development of Garten of Banban 3, the Euphoric brothers felt that it would be a cool idea to add a character with two heads, with each head having a personality of its own. Quickly, they went to the drawing board, where many concepts would be created and discarded until the best one remained. This was done using the process of elimination. In the end, there remained 3 final potential concepts, which were a 4-legged creature with a cat head and a dog head, a 4-legged creature with a turtle head and a chameleon head, sound familiar, and a creature that didn't have 2 heads per se, but his body split into 2 different contrasting sides. The 4-legged creature with a cat head and a dog head was the next to be eliminated, permanently banished to the dark realm of scrapped Banban concepts. Wait, is that where Zolphius lives? This left one hard final decision to be made. Who gets the Banban hammer next?
Hey, forget Banban.
The turtle and the chameleon, or the 2-sided freak that looks very much like a jester? If you've played the Garten of Banban games, you probably already know what the conclusion was. The final decision was to add both. One as a boss fight in Garten of Banban 3, and one as a major aspect to the kingdom that the player would visit in Garten of Banban 4, where they would officially be a jester. And just like that, the first 2 members of the Mutants family were created, forever bonded by the fact that originally only one of them was supposed to make the cut. We don't talk about Zolphius. But even though the 2-sided jester as a concept was established, it still needed a remarkable color scheme, and it wasn't originally the green and purple we know Bitter Giggle for today. Bitter Giggle was originally going to be yellow on the smoother half that's now green, and light blue on the scruffy half that's now purple. A color scheme that was recycled and applied to one of the experimental jesters in Garten of Banban 4. Speaking of the experimental jesters, they weren't originally called experimental jester. They were